Wait, do you ever get disappointed when you're showing someone something for the first time and you really want them to get it? And
No,
they
not
don't?
at all. I think
Yes.
Oh.
Matt knew exactly where I was
Absolutely.
going with that question.
I'm clearly an Eeyore.
I'm probably Rue.
I'm a Christopher Robin with a poo rising.
And then I get in a canoe and I'm like, Claire's don't like canoes.
No, they don't.
I'm afraid of this lake.
That's exactly what it was.
Ow.
It was a beautiful moment in our friendship. I was
literally in the middle of getting hers up and down the
Pathetic.
stairs. Ow. I was like, I'm trying to get my hair done. I'm like,
I don't think that's an accurate representation of my owl.
well, you were in such pain you couldn't see clearly. So,
Trauma.
Thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. I'm Matt Young. I'm a theater educator and a parent. And ever since I lost my father to cancer, I have been mildly obsessed with death. This is my last will and testament. Michio Kaku once said, "Within the multiverse, every conceivable universe exists, each with its own set of physical laws and histories." We are actually going for it. Michio Kaku didn't say this part. This part's just me. We're going for it. We're going to do a special episode about the multiverse. I don't know why. It just took over. We had a different topic on the board, but just listen. You see what happens. I hope you enjoy the episode. Also, I love this song. Sally Rose sent it to me, so I'm using it in our intro. So I hope you enjoy it. A little bit of music before we start.
It's going right.
Grady's got a script in his hand.
Wait, what? Who?
How many scripts does he have
right now,
in there?
Who?
I only have it I'm looking at.
His
I'm
mic.
looking at 1, 2, 3.
His mic isn't.
Who are you talking about? Who?
Grady?
Hi, Grady.
Hi.
His testicles have dropped off.
The operation went well.
Nice.
Wow, that's really something.
That is.
It's lovely to be back.
Wow.
It's so nice to have you back
Been traveling a lot.
Mm-hmm.
around the world.
Mm-hmm.
Well, back and forth to home. As y'all know, my mother's not doing great. We're dealing with vascular dementia. I don't think we've talked about that much on the podcast, but at this point, I don't mind
Okay.
saying that. And y'all have been great in understanding that I've not been able to be here like I want to, or at all physically.
There have been times though that we've talked to you, even though you weren't
Yes,
here.
and
yeah.
I appreciate being kept in the loop with text so much, even if it's, oh no, I've just flooded my fridge, Matt. Oh my God, what happened? Claire said, oh, the Brita filter exploded. Okay, well, we thought your fridge had blown like some kind of water
Nope.
Gasket
gasket
thingy.
It was
thingy.
just
Yes.
me. Just
but,
me and the little tap over there.
Yeah.
Grady, I don't mean to cut you off on
No, don't.
the story of your family, but
Then don't.
But Claire, do you have water in your new apartment? Can you get fresh water? No, you have a Brita. You have to use a Brita.
I like filtered water.
Okay, but it's not like because you get water in my place through the fridge. The fridge has.
Oh yeah, no, my refrigerator doesn't have that. I wouldn't trust it anyway. I don't do tap water from sources I don't trust.
Like Michigan?
Like
Was that too soon? Too soon?
Maybe
Flint?
never.
I'm
No,
sorry.
not too soon at all.
water's a little tricky subject these days, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, my parents had like the 2.5 gallon Poland Spring thing that they always had in the fridge, and I was always, I mean, it's super heavy. They would just.
Poland Spring's very acidic.
Is it?
Mm.
Okay. Well,
I kind of believe that he's a water expert, to be perfectly honest.
Grady.
If you put litmus paper in, it's going to turn mostly yellow. It's not alkaline water. It's very acidic.
Right. So anyway, they would physically have to like go to the store, buy the water, and bring it to the house. And I'm like, that doesn't sound fun
That's why
to
they
me.
have the Poland Spring delivery guy.
I had that growing up.
we
had
had
one
that
of the
too.
machines. We had one of the
Of course
machines.
you did.
Yeah,
of course
yeah.
you did.
But then we had boxes of 2.5 gallons of 2.5 gallon Poland Spring things delivered to the house that I had to lug to the basement and then bring upstairs whenever it was just fucking.
Well,
I
you know
couldn't
what?
take it.
You never have to be reunited with that experience
I
again.
don't,
and
which is
that
why I
being
have a Brita.
said,
Sorry.
We did. We had the big Poland Springs bottles that I had to lug in from the garage and then put into the machine, like the
you
big.
roll them first, and then.
No, we couldn't even roll.
Did
them.
you
We
ever
just had
have
to
a
pick 'em
negative
up.
flip where you went, okay, fuck it, I've lost balance and it's all over me now?
Oh, absolutely!
Yeah.
Because you had to flip it so
You-
quick that it didn't spill.
You dump it all
Yeah,
over.
yeah.
And then you got half of it left. You might
Well,
as
I
well
have
just-
a problem with plastics now,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
so
no,
I'm
the-
trying not to do the plastics,
Every,
which is why I have the Brita.
the microplastics.
It's made of plastic. No, it's metal. You have a metal Brita.
I don't have a metal Brita, but I'm not
Do
using.
they make a metal?
I'm not buying new
I don't know.
plastics.
She said she has a problem. Oh, new plastics. Okay.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, whether or not
Glass. Glass.
whether or not the Brita filters out what it should is also questionable. But now, for some reason, I have like 8 Brita filters to put into my ginormous big Brita container.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I have water. It's fine.
Okay. Good.
Glass.
There's water. Okay, Grady, back to you. And
Yeah, my mother's, dying. No
oh, okay.
worries.
No worries.
No, that's not funny. It's not funny. No, it's just
That part's not funny.
we're all banding together as a family and working really hard, and it is day to day. But it's wonderful to be here
So
while I'm here.
we're so excited to have you. Grady surprised us this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Ding dong.
Claire and I were going to do a what if, a sliding doors episode. We didn't even know.
Yeah, we were gonna suss it out.
That was why I wanted to do that.
Yeah, the Grady.
The multiverse.
Grady
Right, we would do
suggested a
multiverse.
If there's 3 of us
Yeah.
and I make one decision, are the 2 other people in the multiverse making the other decisions that I didn't make? I find that really fascinating.
Wait, go back.
Okay.
Go back.
If you're looking at things in say like a 4D world, right?
Okay.
And there's 3 of you,
There's 3 versions of
or
you.
4 of you, say even. There's 4 decisions you could make.
4 Gradys.
I make one of them,
Right.
and then the other 3 are made
Do they have to make
in
opposite
parallel
decisions?
universe. Well, they make different decisions because they're all going to play out.
But we don't know that they're there because we only live in one of those dimensions, or are we aware of all of them? I mean,
Some people
When we dream, are we dreaming our
I hope
other
not.
dimensional self?
I hope not, because those
The
dreams
nightmares.
make no sense.
Well, maybe their worlds don't make sense. I don't
Well,
know.
This is a great. It's a great topic, and it's a great basis for.
I love you.
Some,
This is a great topic, but not for today.
no, it's a great topic for. I think like a story, like a series, a movie. Like I would like to see that played out.
Right, like in the movie Sliding Doors, where
Which-
she makes the train
Yeah, but
and
it's
she doesn't
too
make
old.
the train.
It was
wait, whoa,
it's too
whoa,
old.
whoa.
That was we've
You just
developed.
called me too old, basically.
No, it's fine.
Ew.
It's fine. We've developed since then,
Okay.
and our concept of a multiverse has developed since then.
Yes, for sure, because Marvel has been sitting in the multiverse for
Mm-hmm.
a long time now, for good and for bad.
But they're doing it in a fantasy sense. Like
Yes.
we need a reality sense.
You need a
know.
real version of the multiverse story where we have 4 Gradys and one Grady makes a decision and the other 3 make opposite decisions, different decisions, the same decisions.
Sounds awful. 4 Grady's. That just sounds like.
But we're
No,
but,
But each world only has one, so each world only has to
Thank God.
experience one
That's
of them.
enough.
but if the story is about the 3 of us, for instance,
Right.
there's 4 of each of us.
So okay, so
there's 12
let's
of us.
simplify it, right? Let's just go with 2 versions of us. Okay. So in the 2 versions of us, they have a video podcast, obviously, because they're different than us. We have audio podcasts. Now, if Grady makes a decision
Mhm.
that is like, I don't know, a shatter point or whatever, it makes a big
Ooh.
left turn, does that affect the other versions of us because the other Grady is not making that?
Yeah, like there's like cottage core Grady, and then there's.
Did you just say cottagecore? How
Yeah.
do you know that word?
Everybody knows about. Well, not everybody.
It's
actually.
a very new term.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of years old actually.
Oh.
Oh, you carbon dated it.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you guys are talking
Self-awareness,
about.
Yeah.
And then
explain.
NASA Grady,
Okay.
like
What is that? That like
It's-
I'm,
it's-
I'm a
it's-
janitor at NASA?
No, it's
No.
Grady in a NASA shirt,
no,
which means you're playing Christopher again.
no, Grady.
Okay.
No. How about this? Grady is an astrophysicist, And then
Yep.
in the cottage gore Grady, he's wearing a NASA T-shirt, but he lives in a cottage.
I'm
by a
liking
lake.
this story so far.
Yeah, and then, but then,
NASA
What's-
sure would never be part of cottage core.
but you slept
be
in
a
it
di-
that
it would-
night,
No.
and you don't remember how you got
Okay.
it.
Yes, and
But there's
Thank
got to be
you.
there's got to be a third version of.
Okay, I was just going to start off simple so that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had, but you want a
But
third
I
version.
like, but the third version is we gotta make this cinematic experience for the viewers.
so the third version
more
needs
than
to be
what they've ever
completely
seen.
chaotic.
Okay.
The third version needs to be reckless and chaotic.
Like we got a type A person, you've got a
Type
cottage
B
core, which
plus
is
person.
I don't know what kind of type.
and then
the
a type
cottage core is.
WD-40 person.
Cottage core like doesn't
That's the
really,
squeaky one.
yeah,
Right.
doesn't want like has an old phone, doesn't
or maybe
really.
maybe the third version's a huffer,
Which is what exactly?
spraying aerosols into a paper bag and
An addict.
Yes.
It's
You
overdone.
don't like that? Oh, but,
is it overdone?
you know, we're
It's
you
not
know,
creative enough. It's
We-
got.
we don't need one down in the dumps. We want all of these Grady's thriving.
Yeah, my friend Paul recently once said, so what you want is no set, very high drama, high stakes, naturalism, and tragedy. Great, we can do that.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted. Elizabeth Arden, Red Door. That's what I wanted.
It should be in your bio.
Elizabeth Arden Red Door.
That's from a comedian who
Oh my
who's
God.
on Bob's
I
Burgers.
can like smell that.
who does this mom, and it's a Mother's Day one, and it just clips of him, and she opens the present. Red Door, Elizabeth Arden, Red Door. It's what I wanted. It's what I wanted. It's what I wanted.
Mhm.
So I was trying to get at the idea of does. So there's
Do we know?
Th-
Do
no,
we
no.
eventually meet?
no in the story probably because that we have to tie everything together. But in the reality of the three different versions, the two different versions of the three of us, right? Does Grady's decision affect the other two, or do we have our own decisions that we're making that divert us in our own ways? I guess what I'm saying is he the protagonist?
I think
the
we
story,
should
are
be
we all
really careful what we
protagonists?
say because somebody can take this idea from us.
Claire, we're not really going to write it.
Oh. Okay.
No.
Oh, copyright.
Okay, we are going to write it.
Right.
The
Why
challenge is
not? What are we doing?
I don't know.
What else do we have to do?
I am totally in agreement with you. I know a director. We can get her to do it, but we have to write a script. And if this is the script that you really want to write, then you are saying on the podcast right now that we are going to write this script.
I don't think it's gonna, but it's not gonna be a play. It's gonna be a movie.
A film, yeah.
It's gonna be a film. You know a film director?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She says hello to both of you.
I want to be in it.
Hello.
You can be in it,
have
of
to be
course.
in it.
We're going to write a part for you called Claire.
Can also
No, we'll call her Blair.
But then
No.
within this, we get to layer with Nietzsche's idea of of eternal return.
All right.
Which is
Oh wow.
Yeah. Do you want me to ask AI?
No, you don't have to. Hold on. Hold on.
I don't even know how to spell Nietzsche.
Just been reading insurance
You
files
can't- it's
lately.
not- easy to spell.
What is the idea?
Eternal return.
Return of return.
Eternal return. Okay,
Oh, eternal
here's
return.
an example. Here's an example. Like adaptations of plays. Are you familiar with Electra?
No.
Okay. You're familiar with the character of
I have something if you want me to read it.
I want you to feel yourself.
Grady's out of
Eternal
practice.
Return.
You're out of practice. Don't talk to me like that.
Eternal Return is a philosophical concept suggesting that the universe and all events within it are eternally recurring in an infinite cycle.
Right.
According to this idea, everything that has happened or will happen will repeat itself endlessly in exactly the same way.
So it doesn't matter if you
Back to the Future. So Back to the Future, Marty goes back.
Yeah.
He changes everything. It changes the future.
yes.
So unless that was like an Endgame, exactly what was supposed to happen and will happen each time, he is changing the world,
Right, which is this is not that.
which is the opposite of
Right.
this, right?
Well, so here I'm trying to. So again, if you adapted a play, to take Nina and the Seagull, or no, fine. Here's a better one. Take Phaedra in Simon Stone's adaptation of Phaedra, where now Phaedra is not.
Do Mamma Mia. Do Mamma Mia.
Okay, fine. Mamma Mia. The Eternal Return is that we're going to readapt this. That it's the same character, but we're putting her in a new situation. So yes, she still owns the Greek. Maybe
Taverna.
maybe she's not a hotel owner. Maybe she owns a restaurant. But it's the idea of that this character is still here, but now we're bringing her into the now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not sitting there.
A different now.
A different now, sure. So she's living the same reality that's going to play out in the same way.
Yeah.
And if it's death, it's death.
Okay.
But it's still.
But she's still going to encounter these 3 guys.
Sure, like
She's still going to have a daughter.
exactly like with Yerma. This woman is barren and can't have kids, and in this
Spoilers.
town, well, yes, spoilers if you haven't watched it. Nah.
Yeah, come on, people.
But now she's modern day. She's a blogger, and she's being confronted with the challenge of what it's like to not be able to get pregnant in a society that says you need to be pregnant. Why aren't you pregnant? Why don't you have a kid? And so she ends up taking her own life because she can't have
really
that.
spoilers. I was going to watch it this afternoon.
You know what happens at the end.
I've never seen
It's
it.
based on a tragedy, but in the
Yes.
end, she's still in the original Yerma. She still takes her own life. And someone last time in Stone, why don't you change the title? Because it's still Yerma. It's still the same concept. It's a concept of eternal return. We're just putting her in a new situation, so we see it with eyes that we have now that we understand.
It's kind of a Hades town.
A little, yes. There's some of that there.
Well, it's
too.
the modernization of any of these
And
stories.
Eurydice, yeah.
Yeah, it's same thing
That
with
now
Eurydice.
she's-
Absolutely.
She's coming through in the elevator where.
Yep.
And the rain and then you have the stones that are talking to her and things, but it's still Eurydice, but it's just a different iteration of her. The outcome is always going to be the same, but how does it play out? How does it play itself out?
It's like those old books where you used to cut out the outfits. You used to have the little
Yes.
models, and you could put the different outfits on
I
the
enjoy-
models,
I-
but it's
yeah.
still the same model.
It's just like that.
That
what
is a great way to.
Thank
that is
you.
a
Thank
great
you.
way to put it.
it I think we
It's
all
the same form, but you're dressing it differently. But
There
big
you go.
deal, it's the same form.
I think we
Right.
all understand this in a way, like subconsciously, we all understand this.
I agree.
But we've never dissected it, and there's a little bit of as we've been talking about this, I've been thinking, what's to say that this is already not happening right now? Like, what
No,
if there
we don't know.
We don't know. What
No.
if there is? And also, what about reincarnation? Like, is that also happening? Are we also, how sometimes, like, if you could do a deep dive into therapy or like trauma, we, maybe a spiritual practitioner might say you have some ancestral trauma, right? Like maybe something that happened to an ancestor earlier in history is affecting you today, or maybe something in a past life is affecting you today.
Well, we know genetically trauma can be passed down.
Right. It's hard to really understand. That's not something that
But
that's tangible that we can
Right.
grasp.
But that's definitely different than the eternal return. Because if you're being reincarnated, you're coming back as something different.
Hopefully.
So you're not coming back as like a
True.
version
Yes,
of
yeah.
yourself
The concept of
living
reincarnation
through.
is right. It's
And
not
just
that.
before we move away, and we can get into reincarnation, and we can do all of that.
Eternal return is just a circle of it's just going to be the same thing, but it's going to have different circumstances surrounding
I
it.
think the thing that we is the implication of it, and the most dire thing about the eternal return, the most
Ooh, I didn't know it is
disappointing,
dire.
Is that there is no free will. Free will doesn't exist.
But if you can change,
Everything is
if
destined to happen.
Well, that is it does seem that way. I wonder if eternal return, if that doesn't always hold true. We're recording. If it
He's yelling
doesn't
at the
hold
kids.
true,
Kids, this is for
if
you, so you're going to hear
if you make
this.
a different
Oh, that's going to work.
choice, will it break the cycle? Then
Yeah.
eternal return gets broken.
So just, you yelling at the kids while they're listening to this 10 years after my death is going to be really interesting
Eternal
for them.
return.
Wait,
That's
who's
an
going to
eternal-
be in charge of releasing
Why are you
this
dying
10
in 10
after
years?
No, 10 years after his death.
Oh.
Yeah, they're not going to want to listen
It could be
right
in
away.
45 years.
Yeah, no one will pay for the site to keep sending these off, but I'll put it on whatever, a thumb drive or whatever. They'll have all 80-something
what
episodes.
kind of technology are we going to have then? That'll be pretty interesting.
Who knows? So we're taking away the idea of free will. Everything is predetermined. It's destined. It doesn't matter what you do in the eternal return.
I don't want to know that, though. I don't want.
But I mean, that's the problem with that cycle, that idea.
And it is just an idea. But
I mean,
it's interesting, again, as a playwright, to look at it in that way and see how you can form the same character. How do we? Elektra's still Elektra walking the ring, but now she's a banker,
right?
And now we're making that relatable to today, where people look at, like you look at the original production of Irma, and that was written for a very specific time, a very specific place, very specific language that we don't use today. Women don't talk that way today, where we don't. But yet, women are still challenged with the same issues.
Yes, and I mean, there's something really horrifying and frightening about that. Because there's no growth.
Exactly right. Exactly.
Okay, I've got it. I know how we're going to do this.
Okay.
It's going to be a play series. We're going to start small.
Okay.
It's going to be a play series. We're going to write. Grady's taking off his mask. We're going to write short, like one acts, but because we're going to do it's going to be like a Black Mirror, right? Like
okay.
Each one's going to be a little
it's gonna
different.
Be an anthology.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rainbow Mirror.
What?
Rainbow Mirror.
What does that mean?
Rainbow Mirror.
Rainbow Mirror.
Like Black Mirror, Rainbow Mirror.
Oh yeah. But we're going to call it something else.
No, it's just the way you said it.
It sounded like
it didn't
you said
sound like you said the word
mirror.
rainbow.
I know.
Anyway, that's
Rainbow
how we're
mirror.
going to do this.
Welcome to me.
Because,
okay.
Because I think we're all onto something.
What if the first episode was from Grady's point of view, and then the second episode was from your point of view, and the third episode was from my point of view? So they're all different stories because we all have different, like, whatever, shatter points.
But then do we have the same
I even
archetype
using
that
that
we
right?
have to write the story around?
I mean,
No, because Black Mirror is not like that.
no, but like if we were doing Rainbow Mirror, it could be like that.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Well, what I was thinking is that
I know there's a playwright in the other room. We should ask him. He knows.
that is true.
He's
Well,
got a piece in the
my
Edinburgh
idea was
Festival.
like each of us bring something different to the table, so we're kind of experimenting with each of our ideas.
Yes.
And then because this is a collaboration, this could be something that's going to grow. Obviously, art isn't like formed and then it's permanent. Like it grows.
That is a wonderful point. Thank you.
Here's the thing. I know how to edit, so we can actually do this. I also have cameras, so we could actually do this. And you could put things on YouTube for free, so we could actually do this. But we have to write scripts. We have to write scripts. I can't preach to my students, you need scripts, and then not have us write scripts. We can't improvise it.
Okay.
We can't improvise.
I've never written anything.
I'm sorry,
like
that's
that before.
that's some
I've
of
never
my
written a script before.
trauma.
Why
from
is it always
school.
the same format? Like, why is it all capital letters
It does
in that
it does-
typewriter
be-
font?
But that's just, you just said it. That's a permanent thing. But that's the problem with it. It doesn't have to be permanent. You could write any way you want.
Okay.
You can write in all lower caps. You can write pages that just have numbers on it.
But if
If
you want
that's-
to professionally read, there's a certain format.
Right.
Also, basically, it's about. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at
Leaving.
me. It's about timing. Plays are different than movies and stuff. So there's sitcom format. There's hour format. There's film format. All of them basically
Well, that's true.
for timing stuff. So 22 minutes used to be the old sitcom, and so they would have to write a certain amount of pages in order
Now
to get
what
to
it's like
22.
for-
Well, now it doesn't matter because most of it's
But that's
streaming, so
streaming.
it can be 34 minutes to 45 minutes to 22 minutes. I
And
mean,
Hacks is crushing it, by the way, just if nobody's watching.
I did start it. I haven't gotten too far, but I did start it.
Right.
Um,
Someone's got to hold us
here's-
accountable to
But if
this.
someone if
This
someone wants-
podcast is
if someone wants to use certain techniques and tactics in writing, usually you'll see there'll be this means slow down, this means overlapping, and you'll see.
Grady's using
But-
his
I just
fingers.
find
to
but the
really
playwrights
demonstrate
and the way plays are published are very different than like screenplays, which I think is what Claire was talking about.
Oh, I see.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Interior house, dawn,
Right. That's not really a
the
playwright.
kettle whistles and somebody gets off the
I've-
couch and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and if you do,
goddamn, that's
if
hot.
you do see that, then it's just lifted from the original production, and like then people go, oh, well,
Yeah, and right, isn't it like stage directions and
stage
stuff?
direction,
are
but people
from,
get caught into that, and that's what you're saying. It's permanent. I don't like that. That's all that is a blueprint in time for that one moment. It doesn't have to be that way. Just with Curious Incident, we talk about it a lot, but it's true. There's a show that happened, and people like, oh, we can't do that because there's something, but you can, because that's just a blueprint of that one show. But that's not set, and that show needs to be. It needs love. It needs to be tinkered with. It needs to be, things need to be moved around and cleaned up and shined up. And some things don't need to be.
Yeah. I mean, we're in our workshop phase for sure.
Okay, so
What?
Nothing.
This has been a really great cold open.
yes, right. Now now play the thing 24 minutes in. Trauma.
Go in my bag.
Go in your bag as much
You got
as
a
you
book
want.
over there. Why don't you open it up? And
So
help?
the idea of the multiverse, right? Not the eternal sunshine of the spotted mind, means that there are other versions of us doing other things. Now, I guess the big question is, would you sacrifice your joy and happiness so that one of your other selves in the other universe could be killing it? Because I gotta say, there has to be a man out there that is absolutely killing it compared to the way that I'm handling my life.
Or is there? But
Or
is
they
that
all
other
like
person
this?
wonder? Like, I mean, everybody's got their struggles. Even the Matt that could be killing it out there is probably like, wow, I wonder what it would be like if I just had a little bit more of a quaint life.
I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't know which charity to give all of this extra money to. It's rough for him. It's rough. No, of course, everybody has their own struggles. But what if this universe, this other universe, I don't know, there was more peace?
But
Maybe
what
it was
if-
less struggles.
what if,
Maybe
like-
happiness was actually obtainable.
Oh, wait,
Oh, he's got another play.
Okay, no.
Oh, he's getting a phone.
This is.
Hi, Grady.
Is this our topic, or are we not? Is this not our
Oh,
topic?
I'm
no,
having a
could
ball,
let-
so I would just like.
I
we
were just going to go with this. We threw out.
Okay, because I went to the bathroom at one point. I wasn't sure if you guys switched it back.
No. We just started talking about this,
You just
and this
time
is where we
traveled,
went.
Claire.
So let me explain to the
It's
audience.
about time.
Let me explain to the audience. The
I showed up and fucked everything up.
when it was just Claire and I before, we didn't even tell you. I think that Grady surprised us. He rang the doorbell. We were settling in. I thought it was breakfast for the kids that I ordered, but it was a different ring to
Type
it.
of
Opened the
breakfast.
door, and it was Grady, and he surprised us. And we haven't seen him in forever, and so it was beautiful. But we had thought, because Grady had given us a topic through text, that we were going to do like a what if. We said that. Then we sat down and we talked for a half hour. Hour and a half. I'm sorry. Hour and a half. It wasn't a half hour. And then ended up saying, oh, we'll just do an episode on reunions. We'd all talk about reunions. I got the definition of reunions and all of that stuff. But instead, we just got started talking on our what if episode. And so that's what we're doing.
They have reunions in the multiverses, I'm sure.
They do. And maybe we should do reunions at another time. But I think we have to stay here. I think we're
Oh, I'm all for it.
So wait.
What's up,
while
Grady?
while you're looking, I'll just give a definition of the multiverse. Right? We're thinking multiverse. Multiverse is a theoretical concept suggesting that our universe is just one of many universes that exist simultaneously. These multiple universes collectively comprise the multiverse. Each universe within the multiverse may have different physical laws, constants, dimensions, and properties. See, there could be a world out there that is just happiness, just joy. In summary, the multiverse is a collection of multiple possible infinite universes. Each universe can have its distinct set of physical laws and characteristics. And the idea appears in cosmology, physics, and philosophy, especially when exploring questions about the origin and nature of reality. It's a hypothesis. Hypothesis? It's a hypothesis. It's a hypothesis. So there is no proof. But if the universe is continually expanding, doesn't it eventually run out and have to like carbon copy itself? Because it's going to keep moving forever,
That's a concept.
right?
Jesus Christ,
Isn't that true?
Matt.
Well, it's constantly
What's the
expanding.
What's the concept of divergence when you have a fork in the road and you have two choices and you can look back in your life and go, if I had done this,
It's a sliding doors.
what would have happened? Where we can look back at our at what we've caused or what, you know, karmic footprint we've stepped in that, you know,
I think about that a lot. Like, I feel like there was
well,
a
that's what
distinct.
karma is stepping in a footprint. We step in it and you move on from it. Karma means action. People have a bastardized definition of it. We do that karma is a form of reward and punishment, and that is not the
No.
case. We step in that and makes a karmic footprint that never goes anywhere. Now, if we move out of that, we're moving out of that. If we want to stay in that karmic space, we stay in it. And that's when we just can get angry and stagnant and whatnot. But the fact that we're keeping moving means karma is still happening. Karma stops when we stop moving.
So wait, karma isn't that you do something bad and eventually it will be revisited upon you?
Well, that's a horrible thing to think, isn't it?
Not for the.
But that's more.
I was going to
that's
say
more.
for a certain political party.
Yeah, but for people that are punishers and want to see people
Like
suffer, sure
no,
they want to
it's
believe that.
Not suffer, but I want consequences for actions.
Well,
you
then
know,
you're looking more at your dharma then.
But that's like the
And that's
concept
different
of
than
whatever
karma.
you give out to the
Yeah.
world, you'll get back.
right?
And that's.
I thought that was what karma was.
I believe
But
karma is a little different.
Some people have different definitions for it, and that's fine.
No, I'm interested in what you were saying because I've never heard of it like
well,
that.
when you make the karmic footprint, you step in it. Okay, so that's done. It's there forever. You've already made it. It's like you send out I don't know, whatever. You made that footprint. You keep moving forward, right? So you're making an imprint wherever you go. It's like your carbon footprint,
Okay.
right? So either you choose to stay there
But your
in those
karmic
footprints
footprint.
or keep moving.
So if you're saying
Karma's not asking you to stay there to wait to see whether you get punished or not. It's not a system of reward and punishment.
right,
The universe isn't out and conspiring to get you. My mother doesn't have vascular dementia because she was a bad person. She doesn't deserve it.
right,
No one deserves to suffer like that.
right,
And it's painful as a family to bond together and have to watch her and love her as hard as we can, knowing that she does not deserve what has been put upon her. So then I go, well, this isn't that's not karmic.
right.
That's just I don't know. It's just life, the brain. Which we'll never understand.
Right.
I mean, I think we use all these terms and things to try to figure out why. Why is she sick? Why does my mother have to do this? Why isn't she living her best life, being able to travel and come up here and visit with her granddaughter more and things? Well, why does she have to suffer? And here is this asshole out here, claiming to be. I don't even want to use his name. I think we all know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flamehead. And it's just fine. Neo-Nazi groups out are just fine. I mean,
It's not fine for them. though.
punishment
It's
is not for us to decide. What is he? What does Dumbledore? What does Gandalf tell Frodo?
All we have to do is
who-
decide what to do.
Yeah, but who are you? Who are you to decide who gets punished and who doesn't?
Yes.
Who are you? Who are you to? Who are you to decide? You're not. None of us are in that position. Like Sadhguru, I was looking at one of his past not speeches, but just little reels or whatever. But just talking about why do we get angry? You get angry. No one makes you get angry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be angry? No. Why do you do it? We get angry. You want to choose to be angry? If you have a choice, you're going to choose anger or not. So why are we getting angry? They made me angry. No, you're getting angry. No one made you do anything. You're getting angry. So then what do you do about that? Do you let it wash over you like water? Do you be the rock?
So is
And-
gaslighting real or not real?
Well, that's the whole point of it. It's making someone think their life isn't real.
But people have been telling me this a lot lately when I've
I think gaslighting's a term that has really, really come into fruition, especially with the Me Too movement, and which is really, really important. But I think people are also getting away from what gaslighting really is, and then they're calling everything gaslighting. Like, well, that's not it. Actually, if Claire's telling me I feel sick, no, you're not sick. You're fine. But you really are sick, and I'm telling you, no, you're fine. And I'm letting you live your life, and all of a sudden you drop dead because I've gaslit you the whole time. It's based that word is based on a movie
But-
from the 1950s,
Yeah.
where the man's trying to make his wife feel like she's completely lost her mind. There were just the lights on in here. No, they weren't. There's no light in here at all. Yeah, there were. There were 4 lights on. No, there were never lights on in here.
But
That's
the
gaslighting.
people have been telling me this a
Petrugio.
lot lately when I
Yes,
talk about
yes.
my self-esteem. Like, oh, this thing happened at work and it really affected the way that I feel about this. Or
Right.
I'm afraid to say this to this person because I'm afraid that they're going to talk me out of it. And the response that I've gotten is no one can talk you out of something if you believe in it enough. Or, and with gaslighting, it's like no one can gaslight you if you really know the truth about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So the lights aren't on. No, they are, or whatever you were just
Right.
saying. Like, if I know what the fact is and I know what the truth is, or within me, I know like my belief system.
So then,
is
what's your
strong
best
enough.
defense with gaslighting?
Well,
Silence.
but I also
Silence.
I don't know that it's that straightforward, because I think we all
It can
have
be
a
quite
reality,
circumstantial.
but that reality can be shifted by
Especially
people
if-
who have
If we're
malintent.
vulnerable, or
Yeah,
if we're
absolutely.
believing someone and going, I'm asking them for help, and
Right.
they're telling me, and they know what they're telling me is fucked up.
I mean, narcissists
We're getting into
are-
narcissism. Yes, absolutely.
are the kings of gaslighting,
Mm-hmm.
and there is. Well, look. I mean,
Because
look at the
because they're
cults.
punishers. They want
Yep.
to punish. They
Yes.
want to punish
And
they
control.
need to see justice
For sure.
on their terms. On their terms, and so they don't give a shit about anybody else other than they feel like I sought justice. No, you didn't. You sought revenge. Justice and revenge are two very different things.
But getting back to the idea of you can control whether you're gaslit or not, I just think it's a little bit more complex than that, because I can set up a situation around which you are experiencing the world and get you to start to doubt who you are, and then
Only if I let
continue
you.
to.
Yeah, well, it's not. I don't know. Sometimes we have.
If I'm like a real narcissist and sociopathic, I am picking up on where your vulnerabilities are, and I'm using them to manipulate you. And I think for you to blame yourself for that, I could have done something different, I think isn't really fair. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think you were in control of that. If I
Right.
if I have like
But
malintent,
if
when my ADHD and autism converge in such a way that I'm so confused, and I have to say to person in front of me, "Did I just take my medicine?" Yeah, you took it, but I didn't. That's fucked up. It's weird because I'm not in my own reality, and I need somebody to help me.
but that
I don't know what
means-
I
But
don't
you're
know why
also
I'm
giving
getting
someone
at.
else the power to influence you.
Or are they taking it?
But are you giving it to them?
Or are they taking it?
I mean,
But I don't
Or are they
think that,
trying to take
But
it?
I think that you
And
can't.
if you think that the best way to handle it is to be silent, silence.
But you also, within your own mind, you have to have enough conviction to know your own truth.
Well,
but
that's-
who does?
Right.
Like honestly,
know.
I would love if that was true.
Some people can.
Some people do, absolutely.
I mean, I'm trying to get better with that.
Yeah, but I don't know that it's a strength of a high percentage of people. I do think there are victims of obviously of narcissists. They're victims of
There's emotional abuse.
gaslighting. Yeah, which is, I mean, gaslighting is emotional abuse.
Very much
You know?
so. Very much
So crazy that the multiverse got us to gaslighting,
I know. Well,
because there's
Y'all
at
both
least a
looked at me
version
like
of
I had
ourselves.
something to say.
There's a version
And
of
how about
ourselves
these
out there.
tariffs?
oh God. Anyway,
Gaslighting tariffs.
well, I'm uncomfortable now.
I love it. Why don't you?
With tariffs, you think you're going to get
What did I write you, Claire?
Kicked out of the country?
I wrote you.
you could.
I
Multiverse.
kind of want to get kicked out of the country.
You don't want to
No,
get sent
don't
to
say
El
that,
Salvador.
no.
No, but like, I'll just go somewhere else.
How do you know? What have you last time you were at El Sal?
Because usually the people they're sending to El Salvador are going to the prison.
They take all their phones and shit. It's really fucked up.
Oh,
Yeah.
They keep you locked up for weeks, and it's is that gaslighting? I don't know.
I would
Are we
get
doing
so-
a gaslighting episode now?
Mm.
Narcissistic
Chris, like,
gaslighting.
how do you
No,
know?
but is there a version of me in the multiverse who
Lives in El Salvador.
is living in El Salvador, is a narcissist, buys bad gifts for people, isn't
I
very
don't think
thoughtful.
a narcissist would buy gifts for
I have
people.
2 girls.
I
So-
love that. I love
The 2 girls.
I love the idea. I love the idea of the.
Because they come out and see you.
Yeah, they would. Maybe. No, who am I in this multiverse?
Is he packed,
Yeah.
by the way? Because when we leave, we're starting.
You're
today.
starting his classes?
Yes.
That's nothing like an inside joke for a podcast.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing like an inside joke.
Grady
for a
has
podcast.
decided, like Mr. Miyagi, like Yoda,
Give
that
me
he's
the boy.
taking
Give me
Sawyer to
the
train
boy.
him in the arts.
Give me the boy.
Who are you? I don't know. I mean, I gotta think. That gives me on another tangent. Because you guys are my closest friends, for sure. There are other people in the world that I love too that are my friends, but I've been seeing all of these things are like red flag. If he has a new set of friends or he's not friends with the old people in his life, that's a red flag. That's a
For
him
who?
problem.
For who?
Does this show
I
up
don't
in
know.
your Instagram?
No, but these
Definitely on my TikTok. For sure.
Everybody's a fucking expert now that you have a phone and can do a video.
But it's on
and
the internet.
That's
It's
what
got to be true.
Right. That's true.
No, but like I was thinking really hard about that.
That's
I'm
a computer.
typing.
And I often like
Typewriter.
ding. it was a visual ding. So.
I love it.
But I often think about the idea of where my friend groups have diverted. I spent a lot of this podcast talking about.
Can you pinpoint
those
the moment where you saw that split?
Yeah, I mean, when my father died, that was a huge. Well, first of all, when I moved from Fairfield to Greenwich, right, my friend group split. That's the first thing, right? And I was very much on my own, and I had to remake all friends. Not a thing that other people don't have to do. There are plenty of people who have to do that. There are kids who are very, very good at that. I was not. I definitely made some friends, and then I go all the way to when my father died, and then it really shifted for me. And then I have acquaintances in my life who were my old friends, but like, I don't know. You guys have heard all of this bullshit if you listen to us. But what I'm saying is, I go back and I go, well, don't I have to be part of the problem? Because it's happened to me a couple times. My friends are my closest friends are new friends in my life.
It's not a
and
problem.
if TikTok is right, then I'm a red flag.
We're not talking about that as far as what TikTok says is true. Here's what I've just developed as you're saying.
Maybe
that.
it was Instagram. I don't know.
I believe that we might actually already be living in a multiverse without knowing it.
We
so,
are.
Like, yes. So meaning it's here. It's not another dimension. So when we talk about the fork, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think, like, from my own personal experience, I remember a distinct time where I could have gone one way and I went another way, right?
Tell
I
us.
go over those moments so much.
So who's to say that if I went the other way,
You wouldn't end up the same
my
place.
life would be completely different today? I wouldn't be sitting here right
Everyone
now.
has that idea that it's going to be completely different, because what if the reality is it's going to be exactly the same?
But it wouldn't have been.
How do you know?
No, because the
because I
sliding
was
doors.
physically going to go somewhere else.
Doesn't matter. Might have brought you back to where you might have brought you back even harder to where you started from.
So you have this in the eternal whatever it is.
I'm just offering another viewpoint. Doesn't mean I'm believing this. I'm just saying
So the
I don't
multiverse
believe
is
in
closer than we think.
I don't believe in anything
Yes,
we've been
I-
talking about at
absolutely.
all today.
But that's the thing is I believe there's the Claire who went to get on the subway, right? And the one Claire got on,
Mm-hmm.
and then the one Claire didn't and had to go home and saw her boyfriend cheating on her, whatever. Like the movie. This didn't happen in real life. There
No,
was
not
no
at all.
subway
Spoiler.
for Claire.
No.
So I mean, I think that's there. There's somebody who's maybe they're not so different than us. Maybe they are basically like us, just with a few different turns.
Well, if
as opposed to like, oh, there's a version of me who's like thin and an athlete and like has long hair and
Ooh.
I don't know. He's
Where
a
is
lawyer.
he? Ooh, where
It's
is he?
Something I don't know. He wears it in a ponytail. They don't like
don't
it at the
think
law
he
firm.
I
can.
don't.
Yeah.
mind. Oh,
Or
they don't-
there's a world
they don't
where
like
you-
it at the law firm.
No, they want him to cut it.
That's
They want him
okay
to cut
though,
it.
because
They want
this
him
is
to
a
cut it.
different world.
Yeah.
Weinstein,
Well,
Boggs, and Briggs and
I
eggs.
think I've mentioned this a couple times before, but I'm going to say it again. There was a another distinct time in my life where I was very, very young, where I started to think about the concept of the multiverse. Didn't know what it was called, but it was after a time that I think I almost died. I jumped off.
This one we've heard.
Off the stairs.
stairs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
stairs. And then I kind of saw I had a weird vision, there was another time where I fell asleep at the dining room table and I woke up and I was like in my room or something. And after that point, I was like, am I living in my dream right now?
Or are you just disassociating?
But there was no trauma associated
Right,
with
but
it.
but here's the thing: have you ever driven somewhere and then gotten home and gone, "I don't remember the drive at all"? You disassociated the whole drive.
That hasn't happened to me.
I think you can relate to that.
I don't know. I don't know if I can.
You've never driven and gotten home and went, "Wait, I'm home now. I don't actually remember even really driving."
No.
I disassociated the whole time I'm driving because I'm just on autopilot. I am following the rules. I am following the speed limit. I am driving carefully. However, I am not here.
Yeah, I mean that
But if
happens
something
for about
snaps you
30
back into
seconds
reality.
when I'm on the highway going to work, which I do all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
But I'm not at the point where I've gotten home and I'm like, I don't know, I don't remember getting here.
yeah, no, I don't think that's ever happened
Yeah.
to me. Not
That
not with
would-
driving.
That
Me
would
either.
freak me
I
out.
don't know.
Oh, you're just
I'm
making
kidding.
That, making
I
that
was
up.
joking.
Scenario.
But so I always thought after that point in my life when I was really young that I just thought it was a different world. I was like, well, this isn't real. I'm
Like-
still
like you-
I'm still
you-
at the dining room table sleeping.
You
or
dropped
something.
into another world.
Yeah, I really thought, and I would actually.
Maybe you did.
But I thought like maybe if I got punished or something by my parents, I'm like, this isn't real. This isn't real. I'm gonna wake up.
It didn't work.
No.
Oh. That's I don't know that I've ever had that full experience of it.
But I thought
I
I've been
have maybe
thinking
thought
about
like
it.
maybe I died and this is the afterlife.
I mean, I have. I
kinda
mean,
keeps
most of
going,
my
but-
dreams are lucid and waking, and oftentimes I can't control what I'm doing in my dreams.
Can't or can?
I can, and I do not like it at all, because then have the burden of being asleep, but being busy in my mind and choosing to do this or whatever.
Do you wake up tired?
Absolutely, I wake up exhausted.
That's what happened to me today.
I wake up exhausted and then cranky, and then I can't remember what's happened, so I can't piece together the decisions that I made and whether or not the dream was based on something that I need to either talk about, get rid of, purge, deal with, or let go of.
So you can't control yourself in your dreams
I
at all.
can.
You can.
I can, yes. Not all the time. There are times when it's interesting. There are times when I'll try to and I can't. And there are times when I'm just completely in free flow mode and I am controlling it.
Right.
I can't explain that. Waking, I don't know. There's a Richard Linklater movie that's very underrated called Waking Life. It's mostly animated.
Yeah, yeah.
I highly recommend it. It's very light and easy. Just grab some cheese, some easy cheese, and some crackers. and
Can we do a charcuterie board?
Yes, we can do a charcuterie board for sure.
All right, nice. That's the type of cheese that I like.
Mm.
Okay, so is this the right place for doppelgangers?
Yeah.
I mean, should we discuss
Absolutely.
the idea? Do you think there's another version of yourself living on the Earth?
Right now?
This universe, living in this universe? Yeah.
Living in America?
No. It would be somewhere
El
else in the
Salvador.
world.
It was a song.
No, I didn't want to go James Brown on it.
Living in America.
Well, that
From
makes
Rocky
me think,
IV.
That makes me because
It is
I like to
Rocky
think
IV.
about the unique aspect of humanity that everybody's different.
Yes.
But okay, so genetically, what is a doppelganger? Like, who is that other person that's in Asia who's just like me?
Where are they?
Asian
Asia?
Claire.
Yeah. Like, is
All right,
she are we genetically
I'm gonna
similar?
HR us right now.
Right? No, we shouldn't do
I
this.
just would like to just remind everyone
We could be German Claire.
that's.
Okay.
Oh,
I like
I'm not
Asian
doing
Claire.
a voice.
I want Claire.
oh, you're not.
No, I didn't
This
do a
is like
voice.
the old LaChoy commercial
but I love
where
Asian
she makes
culture.
the thing, and then I don't even want to. Y'all can Google that.
I'm just
not-
thinking of the furthest away place. I mean, I love
Right.
Asian culture. I think it's beautiful.
Tasmanian Claire.
No, I'm not interested in that.
That's not about what you're interested in. Where is your doppelganger?
I'm coming up with this scenario
All right.
myself.
My doppelganger's at the Mall of America working at Auntie M's. Is that a place?
Yeah, it is.
Isn't
fine.
that the pretzel place?
It might be.
That's Auntie Annie.
Oh, Auntie M's is the off-brand. I guess somebody local owns it.
Oh, okay.
It's-
No, I think that's the right one. I think that's in the mall right by you.
Okay,
no.
well, but is our
And it's so no.
doppelganger genetically? How is our doppelganger made? Do we have the same birthday?
Do we have the same?
I think you have the same
Do we
birthday.
have the same?
Same birthday.
Do we have the same DNA?
Do we have the same tendencies
No.
to get sick in the same ways? Do we have comorbidities that are the same?
Yes.
That are Great. So I'm still fucking autistic and
Yep.
ADHD. No.
No.
You
You're
don't care. It's your doppelganger.
Your your
What if you shot your own doppelganger?
Would you also die?
talk about karma. I
Is
can't
that a-
imagine that's good for karma.
Well, then, but that's
That may be the
That-
threshold that makes it a punishment
that
thing.
karmic footprint would be very deep. Yes.
Yes.
And is it a
Hard to
whole
get out of
and
that
is it a whole
footprint.
crux
Oh my god.
where you don't know? Well, that's the whole twist.
I was trying to figure
Harry
out what
Potter,
kind
you
of.
stop right. can't
But
do
I always
this.
thought a Horcrux was like more than one. I mean, just because we know about the Horcruxes in Harry Potter, there's 7 of them.
But he split it. He
7
split
and a
his
half.
his one self into these parts, which made him completely weak, which he thought would strengthen him and keep him alive, but didn't. It only weakened him more and more.
Well, because somebody found out about it.
You know. Yeah,
Why did he do that again?
for eternal life and to come back.
Yeah, so no one could kill him again.
So even if you killed one Horcrux, doesn't mean you can kill him. You got to.
But why would somebody kill a Horcrux? Like, if they don't know it's a Horcrux? Meaning, like, if somebody killed him physically, he would still be alive because his soul is in a tiara?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, T-shirts. Let's make them.
Okay. Anyway.
My soul's so alive. I can't die because my soul's in the tiara. Is that what you said?
In a
Now
tiara?
it's a t-shirt and a
You mean a
cotton by
diadem?
Mont. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
No worries.
I thought it was
Okay, I mean, Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings.
So yeah, doppelgangers are a little more complex. I like the idea, like when they talk about creating a fantasy story, fantasy novel. It's about world building and what is the magic of that world and stuff like that. So I love this idea in a story like doppelganging. A doppelgang bang.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
So
HR.
the idea.
That was last time. So when I got doppelganged so fucking hard, you would not believe it. Pretty much like 4 footballers and me. It's just
Why
like,
is
Like
it sexual? It's not
It is
double
now.
banging.
Well, no, but when you say it like that,
Doppelganging.
when you say it the way that Grady and I said it, it feels like. Stop stroking the mic. Oh, you got that in your eye. Oh, jeez. We are so many visual gags today. No, but what I was going to say is in the
I was
the
just
doppelgang.
a doppelganger. It was like just fucking myself for hours. It was so weird.
Matt, continue,
The
please.
snake eating its tail. Go, Matt. Eat your tail.
Okay. Like we who are steeped in fantasy worlds and stuff like that, we know a decent amount of it. We don't have a vocabulary. We don't have a list of do's and don'ts for the doppelganger. Like if you said, "What? How does a vampire work?" I would say, "Well, you can't just get bitten by a vampire and become a vampire. That's a zombie. Like you get bitten by a zombie, you become a zombie. But a vampire needs to bite you and then have you drink their blood in order for you to become a vampire." So I understand a little bit of the lore. We all understand a little bit of the lore. You get bit by a werewolf, you become a werewolf, right? Werewolf can die through getting shot with a silver bullet. But doppelgangers, we can create doppelgangers. I've lost my mind. Have I lost my mind? Doppelgangers don't have that lore. We can make up whatever lore we want. No?
Run that.
No.
Run that fan
No.
closer to you. Turn the fan on.
I love it. I love where you're
I
going
love
with
it
this.
too.
Somehow when you were talking,
I feel like
bit the
those
skin off my finger.
those looks were gaslighting as much as you've ever gaslit me before.
I'm just saying.
I was with you the whole time.
I was too.
And I was blown away by where you were going with that. And I was trying to bring it back to doppelgangers. The thing about the lore of the werewolves and the vampires and the zombies, some human created that idea, right? We
Right.
also created the idea of the doppelganger, but no one's really gone into the story.
That's what I'm
What is
saying.
the story? Do we need to create the story of the doppelganger?
I think so. Like we were talking, do you have the same birthday? Do you have the same
is this another one of
afflictions?
our plays for our series?
Yes.
I've
And-
always
Absolutely.
wondered what would happen if you, as an adult, met your doppelganger as a child.
Ooh.
And
Or what
and
about-
that is
Oh, like
that
that
is-
Ryan Reynolds show?
that's- What?
Didn't he? There was like
Right.
a fantasy show about Ryan Reynolds meeting his child version.
Oh yeah. On the Netflix.
I just
The
always
Sean
thought
Levy
that doppelganger
thing.
was
I
like
can't
a
remember the
joke
name of it.
concept. Anyway, our next series, or the part in our series, the Rainbow Mirror, is
Oh
gonna
my God!
be
Is it called Pardon Our Series? I love that. Is that what you said?
part in our series.
Oh, I thought you said Pardon Our Series.
Pardon Our
Like,
Series.
That's a good one.
That's
Part-
our sketch. That's our sketch comedy show.
Pardon
Yeah.
Our Series.
And it's a doppelganger show, but it is a
Are
comedy.
we opening a
because
theater or a studio? What are we doing?
Sounds like we're doing a
we
little bit of both.
do have the doppelganged concept in it, which we can't ignore. We cannot.
I don't think so, because I think the lore is waiting to be picked, waiting for us to create something. Even the multiverse has certain things that you give over to that are like known in the ether.
Hollywood is listening to this right now and is going to steal our
somebody like
ideas.
Nick Payne, who wrote the play Constellations, and at the end of Constellations, he says, one of the characters says, time is linear. It moves in one direction. We have a path. That's it. That's all we have. We have all the time we've always had. And when I'm gone and not on this earth, you'll still have all our time. It doesn't change it. Does that make sense? It only moves in a straight line.
Yeah.
People are like, well, what if we did this? Doesn't matter. The outcome's the outcome. That's it. So when I'm gone, you'll still have all our time. It doesn't change that. I think that's a very beautiful thing. It's actually heartbreaking too.
Yeah,
But we'll
for
still
sure.
Person
have
is
all
also
our
dying
time.
of a terminal brain tumor, and is contemplating assisted. I hate the word suicide. Assisted
Death.
assisted death, assisted mercy.
A suicide, if you break it out, if you break the word out, it means death to yourself. But we use that. The word is
It's
a scary word.
It is
today.
a scary, very scary word. But yeah, but that the character says, the character is an astrophysicist, I believe. Talks about it. Time is it's linear. That's it. We have all the time we've always had, and that's it. And so when I'm gone, you'll still have all our time. It doesn't get taken away because I'm gone.
But you will have more time without them.
Yes.
You
Your
know,
life
and
will
that's
go
and that's
on.
and that's where the pain is.
Right, but you'll
know?
still have all our time.
Yes, but it will be behind me,
Yeah.
and what will be in front of me, the present, will be time that I have without
Yeah.
you,
It keeps going.
and that's
Well, it
that's
is
hard.
It's yes, it's
hard.
absolutely heartbreaking.
It's
It's one of
pretty-
those.
Yeah.
It's just a small little blurb near the end of the show, and it's just so beautifully written.
It's really amazing what humans will like when faced with the fleeting aspect of time and life. The just
want
this
answers.
conversation
We want
today,
answers.
the amazing things that we have come up with, the concept we've come up with, the ideas, what we're pulling apart today. Like we are trying to figure out and explain.
With zero expertise, let me just say that we have zero
I
expertise.
think that we have it.
No, we have our opinions, but we don't have
I
expertise.
think that we're kind of blessed, for lack of a better word, or we're really.
We don't have any pre-notions on all these things that
We've
we're.
good ideas,
Yes.
Yes.
but we also are. We're trying to figure it out. We're trying to make an explanation to explain this phenomenon of life. But the fact that humans, we're here on this planet and we're making a giant mess of it because we actually have the capabilities of like this electricity in our brains that's creating a mind, that's creating us to think, that's creating these concepts, that creates us to build, to produce art, to make music, to be horrible, to murder, to birth, and to feel, and to cause pain, and to heal others
Now
as
do you
well.
see why I like the plays I like? Thank you.
Because I'm sure they make you feel alive. I know that.
I don't know. Well,
I was
that's-
gonna say one time my friends threw me a funeral, and I never felt more alive after you guys threw me a funeral.
Wow.
That was
Which wasn't the intent. I don't think. I wouldn't have thought of that, but it definitely made me feel alive. So I do understand your thing. And what Claire was saying, I think is really interesting. From the dawn of time, we have been trying to figure out the things around us. Does the sun circle around us? Is the earth flat? Is it round? Why is it raining? Religions were built based upon trying to figure things out. And it's so, what I think is most beautiful is that we're still trying to be thoughtful and still trying to figure it out, even in our, and I would say not in an insulting way, but like our simplistic terms. We're not using physics and math and all of that to figure out the actual answers to the universe.
we're cutting that.
We're cutting that part. We're just using our curiosity, our thoughtfulness, our humanity to ask bigger questions.
Curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, you don't have any. I have texts that say that Grady doesn't have any curiosity, and Claire and I couldn't have rolled our eyes more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I just think of the word differently.
I think that's what it is. And that's not the first time that's happened.
I've had
with
somebody
you.
say to me, I would never think of you as a curious person.
Who said that?
Doesn't matter.
Everybody
it does,
has
because
curiosity.
I'm gonna punch him in the...
I'm not friends with not curious people.
Oh,
He's pulling off
it's-
another mask.
Yeah, I wonder who's under that
I'm a
mask.
lizard.
Lizards are curious. I've seen the way they walk. No, when you said that to me,
I guess I am. I watch a lot of YouTube videos about cruise ships.
because you're curious about the cruises, not the Tom Cruises, but the cruises.
Now's not.
No,
the-
I think of you as a very curious person.
You're more
You're
curious
always
than
searching,
you
thoughtful.
think. You
I
have
am
artistic
searching. Yes,
curiosity.
searching. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I'd never want to stop learning.
That's
ever.
curiosity.
All right, maybe the
You
topic
don't have to
could be
label it that way,
searching.
but that's curiosity, my friend.
Curious is like, what's that smell?
No.
No, that's
Well, two no's don't make a yes.
Yeah, they do. 2 negatives equal a positive. Boom! Shakalaka. All right. I mean, can we do any more damage? Anybody have
Not
anything
to
else
my
say?
brain. My
This
brain's
was a great
broken.
episode.
And I've got
This is our best
I have a
episode
lot to
ever.
do today.
Ever?
Yeah, it was. I'm going to tell a lot of people to listen to today's episode.
I am.
Oh, this week you're going to promote.
You know what? I'm finally going to tell people you can now start listening. It's our 53rd episode, and it's time.
It's like our 72nd episode.
Yeah, I mean, we did some rewinds, and so that
The
makes
return
our
of
numbers
the
look
gay.
a little.
That's what this episode.
No, because
The return of the
we-
disabled gay.
We did a lot of declarations today, and I think we have some accountability that needs to be followed up on.
Yes,
Part in our
We've done that.
Yeah.
We've definitely.
Personally, I think I need that.
Okay.
I just this day just didn't. This day started off as one thing, and it's now a little different.
Surprise.
Yeah,
I agree.
like I came here and I said, Matt, I cried
So interesting.
in my dreams or something. Like I felt like my soul had cried in the night. I woke up
And it did.
feeling exhausted,
Mm.
but not like physically.
I get it. Yeah.
And now I don't feel that way anymore. I mean, it could have been the coffee that I got from Lydia.
Could have been Lydia's
Right,
coffee.
we
Yeah,
did get
yeah.
Lydia's call. Not we, but
I don't know anyone
Lydia?
named Lydia. But I do remember.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't know Lydia either.
Lydia, I did not mean it.
This was so nice to have you, Grady.
Thank you for having me and always
Um,
saving a place for me. I appreciate it. I love you both very much.
I did have to clean the seat off, though. I feel like I've had to dust
You
it, but
had guest speakers here though.
yeah, they sat in your seat.
But last time I was here, Lynn
Oh,
was
yes.
sitting in Grady's seat.
Lynette.
Lynette.
Lenny.
Lenny.
Leany.
Leany.
Yes.
She's,
Leany.
it's Lynette.
Lynette is the most straightforward way to do it.
I quite like her.
We're friends now.
They're close.
She's lovely.
We have something on the calendar.
Nice.
When we had the last time she and I got together, she was like, "You want to put something else on the calendar before we go?" I'm like, "That's never happened to me." And yes, we're going to do that.
Have you ever noticed that Claire's phone looks like Tatooine with the twin suns in like a
Does it?
reverse parallel university?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a simple case too. Like she
It is
doesn't want
simple.
anything fancy.
No,
why?
it's
Why?
like-
Why are we sharing this with the audience? I don't know. We love you, people, and we're so happy to have Grady here. And I hope you enjoyed listening to the episode. Right?
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, Grady, take us out.
Help me. Oh my god.
It's gross.
Somebody's got to change.
Oh shit.
Ew.
Bye.
Bye.
I hope you enjoyed that episode. We had a lot of fun. It has been a while since the three of us have been together, and it was a really rejuvenating and wonderful experience to sit and laugh together. I love doing this podcast. I love when I get a chance to talk to a special guest. But there is something very, very special about the chemistry between the three of us, myself, Claire, and Grady, that I think is the best of this orchestra. And so I was over the moon and surprised to see Grady at the door, and we just had a lovely time. As we said, we were going to talk about reunions because we're having a reunion, but then we just went off on the multiverse and it just carried us. And in classic last podcast form, we went on many tangents. I think we brought forth our honesty, our humor, and our vulnerability. All of those are the staples of what make the Last Will podcast important to us, and what I really am trying to share with my boys eventually when I leave this earth. Ultimately, it is for them, and those three things I think are important in having a very rich, fulfilling, and happy life. So, thank you for listening to the Last Will podcast. If you like what you heard, rate, review, subscribe, do all those wonderful things that will really, really help us out. If you want to get in touch with us, you can go Matt Young at thelastwillpodcast.com. You can go to Last Will Podcast on Instagram. I mean, we're on TikTok, but not really on TikTok. Maybe we'll start doing videos someday soon. Anyways, thank you for staying with us this whole time. We really appreciate it. Onward, forward.